the truth has finally leaked as we have a massive report that has dropped from Shams as it pertains to Damian Lillard and his future in Milwaukee. We're going to break down those reports as they are quite absurd, as well as reveal a new trade update as it pertains to Giannis Antetokounmpo following their elimination of the playoffs. Stay tuned for all in this episode, folks. Before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, your guys' support has been unbelievable. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. That is the big goal right now. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys again. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to go over today. The Bucks are eliminated. The Lakers are eliminated. There's some crazy things going on. But the big question mark remains what the Bucks' plan is this offseason as it pertains to, of course, Giannis and the trade block, but also Damian Lillard. And the truth has been leaked here as to what it looks like, what his future in Milwaukee looks like and would have looked like hadn't he gotten injured. So this is a little bit crazy, and let's dive right into it now. Damian Lillard and the Milwaukee Bucks could have parted ways this offseason if he hadn't gotten hurt, per The Athletic and Shams. Had Lillard remained healthy and the Bucks still had fallen in the first round, league sources say there would have been discussions about whether Lillard wanted to remain in Milwaukee. The relationship between Antetokounmpo and Lillard is strong, as is the respect level, but the imperfections of their on-court pairing remained in their second season together, and with the group's collective limitations growing more evident by the month, conversation was looming about whether Lillard and the Bucks might be better off parting ways. Now, of course, this is a bit of a hindsight conversation about if he hadn't gotten hurt, but what this report reveals is that there were going to be serious conversations about Dame asking out of Milwaukee if he didn't get hurt. Now, obviously at this point in time, they're not going to trade Damian Lillard simply because he's very injured right now. So it's less about his future in this offseason and what that means going forward, and more about what this would have set up in the sense of this has serious implications for the rest of this offseason, because clearly, even though there is a ton of respect between Dame and Giannis, they want to play together, there is a real world where they trade Giannis Antetokounmpo this offseason. I know Bucks fans don't want to hear it. We've been hearing it for off seasons, but at this point, it is an extremely real possibility that they entertain the conversation of trading Giannis. And the fact that Lillard was potentially going to ask out if, of course, he would have remained healthy and they hadn't, gotten past the first round, it kind of goes to show that this team as currently constructed, I don't know, because even if you wait, whether Dame comes back towards the end of this season, next season, of course, talking about 2026 and beyond, 2027, he's going to be 35, 36 years old. Giannis, of course, will be 31, 32, depending on what the timeline is. Like, there has to be a move made for the organization, and they don't have a ton of options here. No team is going to be wanting to pay $58 million for Damian Lillard, who's not going to play until the tail end of this season, if at all, right? It's just not going to happen. And the fact that we have this being revealed about some of the turmoil between maybe the front office and Damian Lillard, or just the fact that, hey, it doesn't work as currently constructed, it reveals a lot about what their plan and how much pressure John Horst is facing. And John Horst obviously got extended, so he's not worried about his job. He has to make the right call for this team. And if anything, this report coming out probably increases the possibility of a big change this summer, whether that be Giannis, whether that be even in the form of Dame, maybe in a different way. So it is a huge report. And if you think back to what Shams said on February 21st, so this was a couple months ago, he said Giannis wants to stay in Milwaukee, but if he doesn't see sustained long-term success there, he will look elsewhere. And this is a report I wanted to bring up because I covered it at the time a couple months ago, and it was a very interesting one because at the time, again, the Bucks were fighting for a playoff spot. They were fighting for their lives out there, and it's for them now to be eliminated in the first round, Dame being hurt. You go back to this report from Shams, he didn't say that Giannis is 100% dedicated in Milwaukee, even though kind of what he's saying. He also said he could look elsewhere if they don't have success. And we think back to his press conference, everything he said, pair this with the Dame situation. It's just a very uncomfortable situation now. And we finally have a truth on what the Bucks plan would have been surrounding Dame, and a bit of the truth on Giannis's future with this team. Because the more you look at this lineup, and let's assume this is this opening day, and it's probably not going to happen because you have to bring back some people. Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma, Giannis, Bobby Portis. Maybe you put Brook Lopez there in the 5. There's been some rumblings about him and the Lakers, all these different things. Like, this team is not good enough as constructed to, win anything. It's quite clear. Yes, you can, work around the edges. They don't have a ton of assets. Like, they're in desperation mode here. They have none of their first round picks for a while. Like, it is a very rough spot to be in. And you can see here, and if he thinks he can still win with the Bucks, I'm not going to do this. I don't know. I wish I was still competing, headed back to Milwaukee. I don't know. This is one of the biggest things. You pair this with the Shams report from a couple months ago. Everything starts to become a little bit murky now. He doesn't know if he can still win with Milwaukee, and that's a fair thing to say because guess what? No one knows if Giannis can still win with this team. The team that was put in front of him and put around him is really bad at this point, and it's worse now without Dame. Obviously, having Dame around him, there was at least the upside there. We saw it with Luka and LeBron. there's upside. The team wasn't built properly around him. There's some flaws there. Boom, they get first rounded. Same with the Bucks, albeit a bit of a lesser example because Dame got hurt. But even then, even if Dame didn't get hurt, I'm still not confident this team could have made a championship run. They have their flaws. Their defense is completely terrible. Kyle Kuzma, the trade they made, you would have been better off having, 50-year-old Chris Middleton out there, let alone 34, 35, 36-year-old Chris Middleton, 37-year-old. Like, I'd rather have Chris Middleton. It was a combination of mistakes, lack of assets to make moves, and an unfortunate reality of, the Dame being injured. And he hasn't really gelled with Giannis since coming. They've, gelled on a personal level, according to all accounts, all these different things. But as it pertains to him actually on the basketball court, they haven't had a chance to really have a full series to themselves and be a really good duo, which, it is what it is. But at the same time, he did win a championship. He has that to go, look forward to. And John Horst, they won a championship a few years ago. But now we're starting, and again, Giannis reportedly deeply respects Damian Lillard, remains happy with the Bucks. So there is also these reports coming out that, say the opposite and say that we know that Giannis deeply respects Dame. And I don't think if he's going to force his way out like Dame did out of Portland, it's not going to be a respect thing. It's going to be a, hey, this is the best opportunity for both the organization and also for your career. Because if the Bucks don't think they can build around Giannis, and maybe that injury is more severe, then obviously you're going to be kind of, screwed if you keep him. That being said, Bucks fans, mediocre to horrible basketball for years and years and years. So there's a lot of the fan base out there who just says, hey, put a horrible team around Giannis. At least it'll lead us to a playing game and, see from there. Let me know what side of the fence you are on. Do you want to see them trade Giannis, get assets, rebuild, or would you rather see them go ahead and keep Giannis and try to just build whatever you can around him with the Kyle Porter Jr., Kevin Porter Jr.'s of the world and all those guys? Because we're going to be seeing trades like this all offseason. Hartenstein, Casey Wallace, Cole Topic, four first-round picks. Like, these are going to be the deals we're seeing. There's going to be a lot of rumors and reports about it. I'm going to be covering them on the channel, of course. But A, would you do this deal? A little bit of a crazy deal. But B, it's something that I want to hear your guys' thoughts on what side of the fence you are on, because there's multiple sides now. There's the side of, okay, let's rock with it. He's Giannis. He's our homegrown superstar, drafted him, all these different things. And there's a side of, okay, there's no clear path to victory, especially with the teams getting better in the East and the West, all these different things. You have a powerhouse in the Oklahoma City Thunder. You have a powerhouse in the East, in the Boston Celtics, and even Cleveland coming up this year. There's a lot of trouble to get through. And I don't know if the Bucks would have got through Boston or the Cavs if healthy. Maybe not even the next round. And obviously, this is a pessimistic hindsight look at the team. But at the end of the day, folks, it's the reality of the situation. They are in desperation mode, but we do have the truth finally being leaked on Damian Lillard in the future in Milwaukee. And whether or not he stays this year, he probably will because he's hurt. The future looks a little bit bleak for his future in Milwaukee, especially at 34 years old, given the expectations. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. A ton of new reports dropping, a ton of new things coming out. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest Bucks news over here. So hopefully Giannis, hopefully they have a good plan for Giannis, because John Horst, he got extended. He's now on the clock. It's going to be a crazy next few weeks, and we'll keep you up to date every step of the way. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later. Cheers.